This is it, folks. The big one. The one movie that everyone is talking about. It's review time! Hit it, you two! The Avengers. Now, how should I explain this movie? It's tricky. How could I explain this movie? This is amazing! Well, that's one way to put it. Now, I'm going to break this review down into 3 segments. The characters, the story, and the execution. Let's start with the characters. Our first character is, well, let's face it, without him, there would be no Avengers movie. Of course, I'm talking about Iron Man. Now, they haven't really delved into what he's been doing since the events of Iron Man 2, but as evidenced in the trailer, yeah, Stark Tower has been made. And most of the scenes in Stark Tower feature a person who, yeah, let's face it, it was no surprise that that person appeared on screen. But do I have to tell you that Robert Downey Jr. is good as Iron Man? I mean, that is, in fact, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. You can't separate the two. It's just, you can't. And then we have Thor, played by Chris Hemsworth. And I found him to be a lot better in this movie than he was in his own movie. And that's really something. And then there's Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything suggestive about her, but she was very good at, the physical things and the acting things. And then we have Hawkeye, played by Jeremy Renner, who from very early on in the movie, yeah, his character takes a very different turn than what you expect. Like his character, let's just say there's a very big twist in it that you don't expect, and it leaves you speechless. Well, fanboy speechless anyway. And then we have Mark Ruffalo playing Bruce Banner and the Hulk, seeing as if he did the motion capture work for the Hulk. Now, when I heard that he was cast as Bruce Banner, I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens. And I must say, he's probably the best Bruce Banner since Bill Bixby. And it's like with all those superheroes in it, it's like, I'm surprised they didn't add any other ones that they didn't mention before. Right, Anthony?
I'm not
Anthony Padilla.
I'm Man Spider! Man Spider!
Okay, well, what are your powers?
What the hell, man? Dude, stop it! It's annoying!
Oh! Man Spider!
Yeah, those are pretty weak-ass powers. We'll get back to you. And then, of course, we have Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston. And, my God, he is the best comic book movie villain since Heath Ledger's Joker. It's like, if there was any villain that... It's like, DC had, the Joker as the biggest villain of their little menagerie of heroes. And for Marvel, let's face it, that trophy goes to Loki. Although Red Skull almost made it. Almost. And then, of course, we have Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. And come on. He is just... The guy is the Black Chuck Norris. There's no doubt about that. I mean, my God. The man is just amazing. Like Stellan Skarsgård's character from Thor, Professor Eric Selsig. And, of course, Clark Gregg as Agent Coulson. And there's a very specific scene in the movie where, yeah, you might get emotional when it comes to his character. Gee, only a couple of seconds went by, and I'm pretty sure, Man Spider is up to no good. Let's see what happens.
Here you go, little squirrelies. Enjoy.
Littering! Man Spider!
Yeah, let's go to story. Now, the story is that ever since the events of Thor, Loki's been kicked out of Asgard, and he wants to conquer something, and Earth seems like the right thing to conquer. And so he and a few, alien creatures that I'm not going to spoil which species it is, they basically go straight to Earth, have a big battle in New York, and the only people who could stop them are the Avengers. And out of all the characters in that movie, I actually rooted for Captain America the most, because I can identify with Captain America. Like, out of all the Avengers. I mean, yeah, I love Iron Man and Thor as much as the next guy, but come on. I loved Captain America, the first Avenger, so it was pretty evident that I rooted for Captain America most of the time. Not to say I didn't root for anyone else, but yeah. Captain America is Beast. Speaking of Beast, what's Man Spider up to?
Man Spider!
Spider-Man!
Man Spider! Man Spider!
Spider-Man!
Man Spider! Man Spider!
Man Spider!
Spider-Man! Oh, shit.
And now we get to the execution. My God, Joss Whedon did a fantastic job with this movie. Now, for those of you who don't know who Joss Whedon is, and if you don't, you should be ashamed. Joss Whedon created such popular television shows such as Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Firefly, Angel, and Dollhouse. Most of those shows were, canceled before their time, like Firefly and Dollhouse. But anyway, so when I heard that he was going to direct the Avengers, I was excited, because I knew he could handle a story with multiple characters. It was, like I said, all in the execution, and the execution was perfect. It's like he gives every character their own chance to shine, and it works. It works really well. One thing that I was surprised at was that Red Skull didn't appear in the movie, which was sad. I wanted Red Skull to appear in the movie, but he didn't.
Spoiler alert.
But all in all, Avengers was amazing. The story was great, the acting was superb, the visual effects were astounding, the action sequences were just mind-blowing. This movie is more than just geek-tested and nerd-approved, and it should not just be universally loved by all, but it is a paragon of true cinema. In other words, it was awesome! So what do you think? Have you seen the Avengers yet? Do you want to see the Avengers? That's a stupid question. Why wouldn't you want to see the Avengers? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, if you like what you've seen here, then feel free to press the like button, add this video to your favorites, and maybe subscribe if you want. And another thing, I'm working on a music video that I'm going to post on YouTube pretty soon that is pretty much a huge tribute to Marvel Studios and their films. So be on the lookout for that. So until next time, this is Aquino saying,
Man Spider!